So, security being a superstition. I talk to people all the time that are staying in jobs that they don't like, that are staying in relationships that are unfulfilling or toxic and damaging, or are living in cities or in homes or environments that don't make them happy because they're afraid to do anything different. They want to take the safe route, but here's the thing: the safe route does not exist. There is no safe route. Now, there are safer routes, sure. I'm safer here in my house, with the door locked, than I am if I get out and, run down the street naked right now, right? But in the long term, what she's getting at when she says that avoiding danger is no safer in the long run than outright exposure is the fact that in the end, we're all going in the ground. That's the reality of the situation. And when you get there, I suspect that just before, the things that you regret will not be the things that you did. The things that you regret will be the things that you didn't do. And what's the point of tiptoeing and keeping your head down and avoiding, any shakeups in your life to arrive safely at death? What's the point in that? It's the same with I've gone on record numerous times saying that I have a very serious desire to accumulate great wealth in my life. It's something that I want. It's something that will be. Something that I won't give up until I have it. But I'm not interested in the hoarding of wealth. There's no point in that, to just have stacks of money around and not be able to do anything with it. Like right now, I got friends who I know have money problems. That have, significant money problems. And I wish in my heart that I had the ability to just write them a check to be like, here you go. And I've had that in my life before. I've had the opportunities where I knew somebody needed $500. I'm like, here's $500. And, don't worry about it. Like, lunch is on me, or hell, I'll pay your rent this month. Don't worry about it. That type of thing makes me feel good. It makes me feel really good. That's something that I like to do. I like to be able to do things for people. Have you caught on to the fact that I like helping people? Can't seem to get free from it, actually. That's okay, because I don't want to be free from it. So, it's the same with you. It doesn't have to be financial. Whatever talents you've got, there's no point in holding on to them. There's no point in sitting on them. There's no point in clinging to it. There's no point in not acting because you're afraid of what other people think. We've said this before, but I haven't said it lately. It does not matter what anyone else thinks. It does not matter what anyone thinks but you. You. That's the only person who matters. The person who looks in the mirror at you has to be happy, okay? Now, I'm not saying be a jerk. I'm not. Love everybody. Be respectful of everybody. Because you should, right? But in the end, don't sacrifice your happiness for somebody else's. For what? You don't have to. Like I said, I hear this a lot of time with mothers and things. Now, don't get me wrong. When you got kids, when you got a marriage, there may be short-term compromise. This may be the case, right? It may be that, you as a husband have to wait to go back to school until your wife is finished with school. Or maybe you as a wife have to put off ballet until he, gets his black belt in Kung Fu or whatever he's doing. But there's a way. There's always a way. Because like I told you before, it wouldn't have been put in your heart to do something if it wasn't in you to do it. Does that make sense? God or the universe or a creator, however you conceive of it, would not give you certain drives and passions and desires if you were not going to ever have a chance to explore them. Does that make sense? And this is something that people do quite a bit, especially with kids. It's like I have children now, so I'm a parent, so therefore my life halts. No, it doesn't have to. It doesn't have to. Yes, your children are your priority. My child is my priority, but your life does not have to stop for it. Your life doesn't have to stop for anything, because one day your life's gonna stop. And what will you have to show for it? It's like my friend with her mom and the marriage thing. And now she's trying to live vicariously through her daughter because she put her life on hold. Maybe if mom had done what was going to make mom happy the whole time, she wouldn't be trying to micromanage her children right now. Especially because, in my work, I realize a lot of people's current issues have to do with failed and flawed relationships with their parents. And a lot of that is from overparenting, because overparenting is overparenting is definitely as damaging as underparenting. A parent that has too much say, too much influence, too much stock in a child's life is just as damaging as someone that doesn't have enough. So now, as an adult, you have the ability to make new decisions, to cultivate new beliefs, to think new thoughts, and frame things in new ways. Like, I was just saying that you might be staying at a job that you hate, but even then, looking when you're saying that it's a job that you hate, maybe it's not so bad, because you might recall, and this might be a while back, there was a time that you were praying for this job. There was a time that you were wishing you could get this job, that you put in a resume and you were waiting by the phone and you went to the interview and you were all giddy for this job, right? Same with your relationship. There was a time that you were praying this person would call you, that you were hoping they would go out with you on a date, right? That you couldn't wait to see them in the morning. That they were the first thing that you thought about when you woke up and the last thing that you thought about before you went to bed. And hopefully they were laying next to you when you went to bed. You remember that? Might have been a long time ago, right? Now, situations run their course. Times change, things end. And there's no point in clinging to it when it does. It's just like Buddha said, the root of all suffering is attachment. The fact that you cling too tenaciously to things, that you cling too tenaciously to people, that you cling too tenaciously to ideas. There might be things that you were raised to believe, as the gospel truth, that just don't fit in your life anymore. It's okay. It happens. That's why there's different religions in this world, or even different denominations within a religion. Whatever religion you are, I guarantee there's 100 shades of it. And there might be one that fits you better now than the one that you were raised in. Because what you have to do is, at some point, you have to question some of your own fundamental assumptions. Again, in that article I wrote about homosexuality and virginity, I had a lot of people that came at me just sort of like, with this like biblical evangelical response to it. And I'm like, that response is pretty much meaningless. See, here's the thing. You can't really use your holy book as evidence to support your holy book. Because if people don't believe in your holy book, then it's pointless. Like, quite often people can't comprehend how you can't cite the Bible as proof. Because guess what? You cannot cite the Bible as proof. You can't. Sorry. Because I say, when a Muslim wants to cite the Quran as proof, you don't listen to them. Or when a Hindu wants to cite the Bhagavad Gita as proof, you don't listen to them. But you expect them to listen to you. Why? You can't. The book has what influence and what power that you give it, okay? And so if somebody doesn't give it any influence or power, then it's got no influence and no power. And I like the Bible. I talk about it all the time. Read it all the time. It's great. Do my best to apply it to my life. But when the dust settles, it's words. It's words. They're great words, meaningful words. I think they're words that fill my life with meaning and direction and purpose, but they're not proof. They're not proof. And believing something fervently does not make it true. Okay? Just the fact that you're like, I believe this with every ounce of my being, that doesn't necessarily make it the truth. That makes it what you believe. And that's true for all of us. In fact, I had an experience the other day that I'm going to tell you, because we're almost out of time in this episode, but I'm about to shoot the other one right now. But I just want to leave you with, take a stand. Truly, truly take a stand. Find out what you want. Figure out what you want. If you're not sure, ask me. I'm a life coach. I forgot to plug myself. PeaceLoveMoney.com. I got books. I got podcasts. I got PDFs. I got coaching. I will help you make the change that you want to make. We work together every single day to get there. But do it and go after it. You know in your heart what you're supposed to do. You know in the heart what you want. You know in your heart what will make you happy. Stop putting it aside to please somebody else. Because guess what? They're going to be miserable anyway. And when they see you happy and smiling, hopefully they're going to be happy for you either way. So there's no point in you holding back. All right. Now, I'm going to go ahead and end this now, but I'm going to shoot the next one right off, and I'm probably going to upload them back to back too. Find me, Facebook, MySpace, Twitter, YouTube, B. Dave Walters. You're great. I love you. Okay, bye-bye.